Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Heather.
Hi, I'm Stacy.
Nice to meet you. How are you today?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So just before we get started, I just wanted to go over a couple of housekeeping things for you really quick. Before you came in, we had you sign a nice little stack of papers, and it was probably a little overwhelming. Yeah. Well, those mostly had to do with confidentiality and informed consent. The confidentiality papers basically just said that anything that you say in here or anything that we discuss stays between you and I, with the exception of anything that might result in you doing harm to yourself or harm to anyone else. But other than that, anything that we talk about is free game. And then the informed consent form basically just said that anything that we decide to do treatment-wise is going to be something that you would agree upon. We're not going to do anything that you're uncomfortable with. And if you feel uncomfortable with anything, I want you to let me know. So do you have any questions about those forms or anything else before we get started?
No, I think I'm good, thank you.
Okay, great. Well, what brings you here today?
Well, I've just been kind of feeling, I guess, kind of depressed, and kind of sad and lonely lately. I've also been really tired as well.
Okay. Have you had any major life changes recently?
Yeah, actually, my boyfriend and I of 4 years, we actually just broke up recently.
Wow.
And so that's been pretty hard to deal with.
Yeah, 4 years is a long time.
Yeah, it is. It's a very long time.
And you're pretty young, too. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 25.
Okay, wow. So you've been together for quite a while then.
Right.
Okay, how serious was your relationship?
It was pretty serious. We, I talked about getting engaged and getting married. It was, kind of one of those things where we assumed that's what would happen. And so, the breakup was kind of unexpected. And so it was kind of just a big, kind of put a big rift, I guess, in my life. Definitely not something I was, contemplating, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. You said that you were feeling pretty depressed and sad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that's the cause of your sadness, or do you feel like there might be other contributing factors?
I think that, that definitely has has to do with part of it. But I also, I go to USI here in town, and I'm originally from Indianapolis, so I moved to school here and to go to school here, and one of the main reasons was for my boyfriend, so he was going to school here too. My family is kind of my main kind of support, and now that we're broken up, it kind of is even more difficult to be down here, kind of by myself and not having them kind of in my life and being as close as they normally would be if I was in Indy. So it's been kind of even more difficult to kind of handle everything that's been going on.
Right. So are you feeling kind of isolated?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so you mentioned that you were pretty tired as well.
Mm-hmm.
What are your sleeping habits like?
Well, currently I stay up probably till about 2 a.m. I tend to watch Netflix a lot. Watch a lot of TV and movies on Netflix. It's kind of addicting.
Yeah.
And I normally have classes at 8 a.m. And so I've kind of had some trouble, getting to class on time and kind of staying focused and that type of thing.
Okay, so you're saying you don't get a whole lot of sleep at night?
Yeah.
Is it restful when you do sleep?
Somewhat, yeah. I think it's just, I tend to not sleep, I guess quite as well, even though I'm, tired. I just am not, sleeping to the extent that I guess I could be. So, but, I think, I know sometimes I just get so tired. I think sometimes I just want to, sleep all the time, and sometimes I just feel like it would be, better if I just, sometimes I just don't want to wake up, I think, when I sleep.
Okay. Okay, let me play that back to you just for a second to make sure that I'm following you. So whenever you're feeling this way, and you get pretty tired. Sometimes when you're sleeping, you just feel like you never want to wake up. Can you elaborate on that a little bit for me, please?
Yeah, basically it's just, there's just a lot of stress, and so when I sleep, it's, you know, it's kind of a good stress reliever. So it's not that I, you know, don't want to wake up because I don't want to be here anymore, I don't want to be alive, you know, I don't mean it like that. I just, it's just kind of a way to not have to deal with everything that's going on. So when I kind of sleep, it kind of pushes out all of those issues, and I'm not having to focus on them, you know, at that point in time.
Okay, I see. So not that you have any suicidal intentions or anything, I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a nice way to kind of avoid what's happening.
Yeah,
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so you mentioned your family is a pretty big support system. Do you have any support systems here in Evansville?
I have a roommate. She's
Okay.
probably, you know, my, would probably be the only other, you know, main support system that I have. So, you know, she definitely tries to, you know, get me to go and do things, and she tries to get me involved, you know, with going to like study groups on campus, and that type of thing. And she's aware of, you know, kind of what I've been going through, you know, with, you know, being far with my family and my boyfriend as well. So she definitely would probably be my closest support system here.
Okay, it's good that you have someone like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
it's definitely helpful, especially with being away from my family.
Right. What hobbies are you, do you have? Are you involved in anything? Or?
I like watching movies and watching stuff on Netflix.
Right.
I also I'm really interested. I love animals. I actually used to volunteer at an animal shelter.
Oh, okay.
And so I actually really enjoyed that.
Okay, is that something that you would be interested in doing again in the future?
Yeah, I think I would. I mean,
Okay.
I really liked it in the past, and it was, you know, it was really cool to, you know, be able to work with animals. So I definitely think I would, you know, enjoy that.
Okay. And not to kind of backtrack, but I did want to touch on, you mentioned that you're tired a lot and sometimes it's hard to get up and go to class. How are your grades doing? Because I know school can be kind of stressful on top of everything.
Right. Well, my grades haven't been so great. They have been slipping, and I've been, you know, having trouble, you know, just kind of staying focused and motivated, and kind of getting my, you know, work done in time, and really kind of putting forth the effort and the kind of quality of work that, you know, I really probably should be putting forth.
Right, and so that's hard whenever you have other things going on too.
Right, yeah, it kind of just consumes my mind, and it's really hard to even care or think about anything
That's
else.
understandable, yeah. Okay, well, if, you know, what relaxes you, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask, because it sounds like you have a lot of anxiety going on in your life, and just kind of this whirlwind of things that are happening.
Right.
Is there anything that sort of helps ease your mind sometimes?
I mean, I do, you know, I do enjoy, you know, going out with family and friends. You know, a lot of times that can take my mind off of things. I enjoy, you know, taking baths or getting a cup of coffee, reading, watching movies. Sometimes if I tend to be more, you know, like angry or frustrated, I'll work out, and that kind of takes out some of that, you know, anger and frustration that I'm feeling. That's kind of been another thing that's helped too.
That's great. And the endorphins too, the
Right.
biological side of that'll help. Okay, so just to kind of wrap up, sort of summarize what you've told me today. So you've just been experiencing a lot of, you know, kind of depression and sadness since your breakup, and then also being separated from your family has been pretty difficult for you, it sounds like. Would you be willing maybe to set a couple goals before the next time that we meet, maybe to kind of help alleviate those feelings, hopefully?
Yeah, sure, that would be great.
Great. So you said that one major thing that's sort of happening to you right now is your tiredness. And a lot of that has to do with being up so late and that kind of thing. Would you be willing to maybe set a goal of going to bed, not too much earlier, but just by midnight, especially on school nights?
Okay.
Do you think that is
Yes,
something
I think
that
I
would
could do
maybe
that.
work? Okay. So it might give you a good 7 hours of sleep a night, you know, might help a little. Okay. And then you mentioned that your roommate has been trying to get you to go to study groups with her, correct? Would you be willing maybe to just go to one of those? I'm not saying every night,
Right.
but maybe just one for an hour or so to see if maybe you like it.
Okay.
And that might help you get to know other people as well. Maybe
Right.
broaden that support system here.
Yeah, I think I'd be willing to try that.
Okay, great. And then in the meantime, would you be willing to maybe keep a journal of sort of what you're going through right now to document, how maybe the extra sleep is making you feel, or maybe just any feelings that you're having in the moment too, because sometimes that helps with getting some clarity.
Okay.
Would you be willing to do
Yeah,
that?
I think I can do that too.
Great. And then what do you think about maybe meeting again about the same time next week?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, great. Sounds wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming today. We've kind of run out of time.
Okay.
But I look forward to seeing you next week. So
All right.
Thank you so
you.
much.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.